if you have a passion for the written word and you want to know how you can build a career around your creative gifts, then today's conversation is going to be just for you, my friend. I'm joined by the lovely Sarah English, and she's going to be talking about how she left her career in sales and recruitment and started her own content writing business. And as you saw by the quote, is now living the dream. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you for inviting me, Gabriella.
So let's go back. Let's go back to that moment in sales and recruitment where you were suddenly like, this is it. It's time to leave. You know, what happened? What made you want to leave? And take us through the next steps that got you to Right Idea, your own content writing business.
Okay, it was quite a journey. I was working in corporate sales and had been for about 8-9 years at the same company. They were bought out by another company and everything changed. We became very big. We were simply a number. It was very hard to meet targets. And I wasn't happy. I knew I wasn't happy. I was deeply, deeply happy, in fact. And I gave it a year because I wanted to give it a chance to see if things would actually change. It didn't. So I decided then that I was going to look for something else. While I was looking for something else, an opportunity came up to own my own recruitment franchise. As I'd done recruitment prior to the sales role, I thought, yeah, okay, I could do that. I can get into that. So then I decided to launch my recruitment business. To be honest, that wasn't the big leap so much because I was so desperate to get out, and I was promised it's going to be great, you're going to earn loads. And it was a bit of a no-brainer for me to take that leap to own a franchise because it was one step towards owning my own business without actually owning my own business. So it was like a half commitment. So I started that and I learned so much while doing it. A lot of it was all about psychometric testing, and so I learned the whole psychology with, you know, people and the written word and how they sort of word their CVs and how a recruiter sees it, and that, and I absolutely love that part of it. So I'm not going to lie, after a year, the recruitment business fell on its arse. It was a horrible time. I had that horrible sick feeling in my belly. What am I going to do? I'm not going to be able to get another job. I was desperate not to go back to recruitment. So because I was so desperate not to go back to recruitment, go back to corporate sales, I decided, what do I love doing? And the thing that I love doing more than anything in the world is writing. And I think because I'd done so much of the, writing within my recruitment business, I thought, why aren't I doing this for a living? And actually, there was lots of people that were saying to me, can you write me a CV? Can you write me this? Can you write me that? So I was doing it, but not actually charging for it. Yeah. So after a while, I decided, right, I'm going to upskill. I'm going to go off, do my diplomas, do some courses, and I'm going to be a copywriter because that's what I want to do. And I literally did courses, set my website up, designed it all myself, registered my business, and the 22nd of July 2019 I launched. And then that was it. That it was literally the only thing that started it was just that complete change in my life. Yeah. That made me sort of think, I don't want to work for someone anymore. I want to work for myself.
Thanks for sharing that, Sarah. As I was listening to you, what I thought was so interesting is that the franchise was that step in the middle Because you know, it sounded from what you were saying is it was a no-brainer. It was easy for you to do rather than going all in and totally upskilling from that get-go. So for anyone watching, what would you say about this idea of the steps that take you to where you want to get to? Because I think there can be this concept of like, I want the dream life right now, but there are some steps to take.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, we all want something right here, right now. That's never going to change, and that want to have everything right here and now is never going to go away. But would I say going to a franchise first and then taking the leap was the best thing to do? Possibly not. I think if I had the confidence, I would rather have spent the time to set up right idea from the start. But saying that, having the franchise, I learned a lot from that. I learned how to run my own business, how to manage my own time, how to get new clients. So for all the value that I got from it, yes, it was worth it. You're always going to have that question with yourself. Shall I go and work part-time, have my business on the side, or work full-time and have my business on the side, which, by the way, is incredibly hard. But if you really want it, and that will happen, I think the best thing is you need to choose it for you, I think. I think as my business came from changing my life. So because I decided that I no longer wanted to work in corporate sales, there was that change that made me want something different, even though in the back of my head I've always wanted to be a writer. I want to publish a book at some stage in the future, and I've always wanted that. I've dreamt that since I was little. And I think sort of being able to actually have a job that enables me to gain the skills that eventually I'm going to need to write my book. So, you know, it's all win-win.
That's interesting. And I've heard you say a couple of times how much you didn't want to be in that corporate world anymore. So give me a sense, because again, it can be really scary when we're thinking of taking that leap, especially if we go from a place where we've been employed and as secure as we believe we are in when we're employed, to suddenly we're the ones that are responsible. So talk to us a little bit about fear and what you think has enabled you to overcome some of the common fears of setting up on your own, and how you've done that.
Don't get me wrong, I still experience fear on a daily basis. It's not something that ever goes away when you own your own business. So of course my initial fear was leaving to have the recruitment business. That was step one. I think I was so desperate to leave corporate that actually the whole feeling of working for corporate versus working for myself was kind of a no-brainer for me. So that I was more scared of carrying on working in corporate, to be honest, than I was of starting out on my own at that stage. When I launched my own business, of course, you've got the fear, is that going to fail as well? Because obviously I'd had the failure of the recruitment business. What if this business failed, or you know, what if I wasn't a good writer, or what if everyone hated my work, or what if I couldn't get clients, but actually having all those fears is perfect to start in a business. Rather than think of it as a bad thing, think of it as a good thing. You need that fear to ask yourself those questions so you can preempt what the outcomes are. Because I think certainly for me, my biggest fear was I'm not qualified enough. I left school with 11 GCSEs. Okay, that's great. And I've done writing diplomas, and that's it. I didn't go to college. I didn't go to university. I don't have a degree in English. But it's not, things like that actually by the by, because not once have I been asked, do you have a degree in English? No.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
people see my work
Yeah.
and they can see that I can do it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I think you can quite often put fears in front of you that actually aren't that necessary at all.
Yeah. I love that. And I love what you say about the fear, the way that you framed it as something that preempted, like it was actually a question that you wanted to be asking yourself. And because you were more afraid of going back to corporate,
Yeah.
the fear didn't stop you. It kept you going.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about networking, because I think that's one of the most important things to be skilled at when you are starting your own business, to sustain a business. So again, you know, some people might be watching saying, oh, you know, you've got to be a real extrovert to network. You've got to be really confident. So I'd love to hear your experience of networking and maybe some top tips if you've got them.
Yeah, of course. So networking is, first and foremost, it's picking the right networking group for you. So you do have to try before you buy. Some you will have to pay for, others are free, but you do have to find that group that you fit into. When I first started out in the recruitment business, I was in a very large networking group that was very expensive. And actually, I didn't get any return from that. But what I did do was make some great connections. So actually, when I launched my business, I still had those connections. So building your network around you is crucial to the success of a business. I'm not going to lie. If people don't see you and people don't get to connect with you, then you may as well be, excuse my French, pissing into the wind, because you are not going to get anything. The good thing about networking is not just, you know, going there and saying what you do. It's actually afterwards. It's having those one-to-ones and really getting to know people so they can get to know you as well. So if someone says to them, oh, I'm looking for a copywriter, they can be, oh, Sarah does that, let me pass you her details. And word of mouth referrals is so powerful, and you can find yourself with so many leads that you don't actually have to self-generate yourself. You can, you know, let that kind of run as it's, you know, on its own, and get those little leads coming in here and there. But if you're not putting yourself out there, no one's going to see you. So with that in mind, because I believe in networking so much, I actually started my own networking group, and started it in October last year. With COVID, a lot of businesses were shutting, everyone's forced online, and I was asked to run my own networking group. Now, I am going to lie here, I used to hate being on camera. I did not want to run networking meetings. I did not want to speak in front of people, but I was encouraged to come out of my comfort zone. And that is one thing that is a huge challenge when you have your own business, is you have to force yourself to come out of your comfort zone. But once I did, I run the networking group every single Thursday, and I love it. It's so much fun, and getting to meet people and just have a great time, just, you know, networking and sharing stories about about what we do, and funny stories, and, you know, it's so powerful. But 100% it is finding the right networking group for you, because not all of them will be. I keep mine very fun and very casual, because that's who I am as a person. Others can be a lot more formal, which, yeah, doesn't really work for me. I'm not that sort of person, because that's going back to the corporate side of things, and I don't want to go back. So if you've never networked before, all I would say is possibly pick a smaller group, or I mean, there's plenty of groups to go for, but I would go for the smaller groups. Always have a little pitch prepared, just a minute long. It's the best way of not getting flustered. So I literally have a 60 seconds saying, I'm Sarah, my business is right idea. This is what I do. This is what I've done this week. If you're looking for blah, blah, blah. And then a little tagline at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then it's as simple as that. So have that prepared already. You don't need to read it word for word, but if you've done that preparation beforehand, then it's much better, because otherwise I'd be like, give me a pitch and you go, and then you lose your words. So we've all been there, we've all done it. And don't be afraid, because people that run it like me, I was in that position. I'd never networked before, and now I'm running my own. So I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it, because I was so shy. And I would say, just be yourself, 100% be yourself, and just don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because actually people will love what you do.
What I liked about your pitch, Sarah, is the what I did this week. Because to me, immediately, I'm like, okay, that just totally contextualizes what you do. It gives someone a bite-sized image of, this is me in action. This is what Right Idea does. So I love that little addition that you've got in there.
I think as well, having something like that might trigger something off in someone's mind. So as a copywriter, I write all sorts of copy. But unless someone hears, oh, this week I wrote the copy for a full website, and then someone might think, oh, I didn't know you did websites.
Yeah.
But then, it might trigger that off in someone else. So I always put that in, because I think it's actually good to let people know where you're at, and actually, oh God, they can do that. I didn't know that. So it's always fun to have something like that in there.
Brilliant. So find a networking group, try before you buy. So you may have to try a few before you find a group that feels right for you. And obviously a group where you're saying it's important to be yourself. So to find a group you feel you can be yourself in. And have the pitch ready. But also I loved what you said, which is, it's not about just sort of coming in and saying, this is what I do, but it's about building relationships, because the person you're chatting with may not be the client. They may then go and tell somebody else about you.
Yeah.
So building those
100%. Yeah. I think, once you connect with people, they will have their own network of people. And business people lean on business people. You'll see lots of posts on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm looking for a carpenter, or I'm looking for a so-and-so. You want to be at the forefront of your network's mind when someone's asking that question, so they can go, I know someone that does that. So, and that's why it's important to have the one-to-ones after the meeting.
Yeah. And that's great, because I think if people watching are aware of that, they're not going to have that, which I think is quite common, where you go to a networking event or you put your pitch and you think, oh, nobody bought right away. It's to understand that you never know when that referral is going to come.
No. I think that's it. I mean, that's why I always say, try before you buy, and find that right networking group to you, because they become your own salespeople. And that's the way I've always seen it, is at the end of the day, when you're networking with those people, you want them to be your sales team. Because if they go off and they're referring you, it's because they believe in you, same as your sales team would. So use it to your advantage. It's well worth doing.
Beautiful. Some really nice tangible tips there, Sarah. So we've looked at networking. What about once you've created that client, how do you then nurture that relationship? Because, and this is something else that's so important. It's not just about that first client or that first sale. It's about developing the relationship so that you've got that repeat business. So talk to us about how to develop relationships with clients.
Okay, so the very first thing I do as soon as I get a lead is when we could meet face to face, I would have had a face to face meeting. But actually, a lot of the work I do is not just in the UK. Don't get me wrong, I would like to go and have meetings further afield. But I will always set up a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting so I can see that person face to face. And we will literally, the very first call is we have a chat. It sounds so simple. Rather than going straight into the what do you want, what do you need, what do you expect from me, what are the timelines, blah, blah, blah. Have a chat. Because whoever your client is a person the same as you. So find out where they started, what their story is, what their business is all about, where are they coming from, where are they going, what's their mission statement, who are their customers. No matter what you're doing with the business, it's crucial to know your client's business. Because if they can see that you've spent that time to get to know who they are and what they do and what their goals are, then they will have more confidence in you when it comes to actually supplying what they need. Okay, some clients are going to be one-off clients, and they will be, it's a one job, that's it. But I still take the time to get to know who they are and what they do. Because I do think it's important. It might be a one-off job now, but that's not to say that something else isn't going to happen in the future. So I'd say never ever burn your bridges. Is if you have a one-off job, you do that one-off job and you do it as if it's going to be a customer that's going to be with you for the next 10 years. Do the same level of service, because I guarantee at some stage they will come back or will recommend you. So yeah, and I think nurturing that client relationship is, for me, I'm very, what you see is what you get, which works for some people. It doesn't work for others. Because if I don't believe that something's going to work, I will say to the client that I don't believe it's going to work. I will say why I believe it's not going to work, and then I will offer a solution. Because quite often clients will have in their mind what they want, but actually what they want doesn't match up with probably what they need. So they will be looking at you to steer them in that direction. But once you've built that relationship with your client, you can have that open dialogue and you can talk about things like that. And I think actually clients really appreciate that, because you're paying attention and you're doing everything with them in mind rather than you in mind. It's not about us as business owners, it's about them as business owners.
Sarah, I'm loving this, and we've got loads of appreciation in the chat too, which I'm going to come to in a moment.
Awesome.
But I love what you're saying, that you're not just nurturing the relationship with the client and treating it as a job that will continue, even if it comes to you as a one-off, because you never know when they want to come back or when they'll refer you. But you're also nurturing them so you can get to a point of total honesty, so you can be of even more benefit.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
I'd like to get to the stage where I'm so close to my clients. I know when their birthdays are, what the kids are called, where they're going on holiday. They send me the photos, like holiday photos when they're out and about, food photos or something like that. I like having that relationship with clients because I think it works. So yes, I've become friends with my clients. Everything's still on a professional level. We still have our contracts in place. We still have our terms and conditions in place. But that's just the grown-up stuff, as you will. But you need to become friends with your clients and provide that service that, you know, that they really need and want.
And I think also this is the kind of thing that says I'm different to somebody else, because we talked before we came on camera, we were talking about the fact that you coach other copywriters, but it's not a sense of, oh, I'm coaching the competition, because you've all got your unique thing that you offer. And so it sounds to me that what you're offering is the friendly, personal, authentic touch, which works for you.
Well, I like to think it does, but you know, look, let's face it, not everyone is going to love you. You will have times where the chemistry is not right. At the end of the day, we're all adults. You do the job that they've paid you to do and you move on. And you might never ever speak again, but actually, maybe you might, you never know. So, you know, you deal with it as an adult. You know, you are going to get people that, you know, maybe they're not pleased with the work that you've done, or you know, it's for some reason it's not worked out, but that's okay to have that. Not everyone is going to love you, not everyone loves me, that's for sure. So, you know, I think you really need to make sure that you don't let that knock your confidence too much, and you need to actually, no, that's okay, and that's a good thing, because once you get busy, you don't want someone that's you don't want a client that's going to drain your energy and make you feel low or anything like that. So, but you're a business owner, so you will get to a stage where you'll be like, actually, I don't want to work with this client, and that decision is yours as well. So at least you have the freedom then to decide, actually, I know the chemistry is not right. I'm not happy working for this client. So actually, I'm not going to do that anymore. So, you know, and then you can actually fill your working day with, you know, clients that are going to push your business forward as well as push you forward.
Beautiful. And that to me sounds like you know, if we come back to that opening quote where you're living the dream, I mean, it's so important that you've learnt this stuff along the way, which is, I don't have to work with everyone. And the business that is a dream to live is the business where you're serving the clients that feel like a right fit for you.
Yeah.
I love it, Sarah. Yeah. I'm just going to come to the chat. Lucia, thanks for being with us. I bet your clients love you.
I need to put my glasses on to read this.
So here's a comment from Lucia. I bet your clients love you. Like I adore Gabriella. So yeah, she's getting a sense that there's going to be a lot of appreciation. And also,
thank you.
Niharika, thank you so much for being with us live. She really enjoyed that. Came up when you were giving the networking tips. So some real appreciation for the networking. And then Kamar, again, thanks for joining us live. So let's just end, Sarah, with, you know, people are going to be listening. You've mentioned your networking event. Tell us where people can connect with you. Tell us how they can come to your networking event. Where do you like to be connected with online?
So you can connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook. Gabriella, I will send you my links so people can connect with me. That's fine. My networking event is every Thursday at 12. I will send you the link to that as well. It's completely free of charge. It's an hour. We have people from all over the world join us as well. And last week we had 3 newcomers to networking, so I make sure that you're well looked after if you're new to the world of networking. Even if you've launched or haven't launched yet, if you just want to come and check it out, then you are more than welcome. So I will get you all those links over.
And one final thing, if you were to say one thing to someone who, like you, has a passion for the written word, maybe they're in a job which isn't lighting up their soul, or maybe they've always wanted to be in their own business, what would you say to them, Sarah?
I would say, stop dreaming and just do it. I can't put it any clearer. I wish I'd have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I really wish I had have done. But saying that, maybe it was the right time to do it now. But stop thinking about it and start putting everything in place to just do it, because you will never do it otherwise.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing there is the difference. Like, if we keep dreaming, it doesn't happen. But also I'm hearing from you, it's like, stop thinking and start putting things in place. So it's replacing that thinking with action.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sarah, it's been such a treat chatting with you. I've really appreciated you sharing your tips on networking, your tips on fear. It's been great to get a little bit more of a sense about your journey, and just, thanks for your generous spirit.
Thank you so much for having me. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you. And I hope if I've helped one person start their business, then it was all worth it.
Yeah, perfect. Well, enjoy the sunshine, Sarah, and look forward to our next conversation.
Perfect. Thank you,
Take care.
Gabriella.
Bye.